Thank you guys for 10K. My room is a mess, but it's worth it. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. So usually when I make a video like this, I write some stuff down that I want to say, just to be a little more prepared for the video. I did none of that for this video. I'm just going to look at all of the questions that people sent me. I'm going to answer them one by one. And yeah, in the background, I'm going to have some gameplay of one of my favorite decks, multiple of my favorite decks. I don't know exactly what you're going to see in the background, but this is like a very just relaxed, chill video. And I hope you guys enjoy it because honestly, I am so grateful for the 10K. Thank you guys. There is a link below for a giveaway. I'm giving away 2 RP codes. So if you want a chance to win one of those, make sure to click the link below. I'll post it in the comments and in the description, and then you can sign up. And in like a week or so, I'll announce 2 winners, and maybe you can buy some of the new pool party stuff. First question by Referencer. What was your favorite deck you ever played in any patch to date? I started off by thinking that Scouts was my favorite deck, and it has been for a very long time. Scouts has been my favorite deck since Build for the release up until December when the Cosmic Creations expansion hit. And from that moment, up until now, my favorite deck has been Victor Zoe. I just love the way that that deck always gives you a perfect answer for every situation. Well, maybe not perfect, but it really lets you play to your outs no matter what deck you're playing against and no matter what they throw at you. Cards like Iterative Improvement, creating cards with Zoe Celestials, buffing up a huge Victor. I know the most optimal way to play that deck right now is Zoe Vi, but I love Victor in that deck, and that is why my favorite deck in the entire game is Zoe Victor with not the Allegiance, no like Targon Invoke full on. It's just that like it's more like the Ruben Zoo deck. Tara asks, which is the hottest League female champion? rek'sai. If you had to pick a champion to join the Legends of Runeterra that is not leaked already, which one would you choose? Do you have its abilities in mind? My favorite champion is Fiddlesticks, and I think I would like Fiddlesticks to join Legends of Runeterra. I do not have any abilities in mind, really. The one thing that I do hope from Fiddlesticks is that he is a Demacia champion, because in the lore, Fiddlesticks is hanging out in the forest near Demacia, and I think having a character like that in this unit-based, no magic kind of region, Fiddlesticks could make that really interesting, and I would be curious what the designers of Legends of Runeterra could come up with. He will probably, most likely, actually go to Shadow Isles, but I hope he comes to Demacia and shakes up the region. Which kind of mechanic do you want added the most to LOR, like a new keyword or card type? That's a really good question. What I would actually like is more of a priest type deck, so like Soraka Tahm Kench, but not really focused on the ultimate win condition of Starspring, but really like a small healing deck that lets you get value. Like if you heal this card, draw a card. If you heal for 3 in total in a turn, you draw a card. More stuff like that. So a healing archetype that isn't Soraka Tahm Kench, but really focuses on getting value from heals rather than getting value from keeping your units alive would be really cool, I think. That's not really a keyword or a card type, I guess, but I don't really know any. I would like to have more of the fish, the Bilgewater fish, like Fizz, the coral creatures, Zap Sprayfin. I would like a champion and more cards that do stuff with Attune and synergize with it. You said the card customization wasn't realized that good in LOR, especially with the gold and silver cards. What would your best case scenario of customization be? I think Prismatic is kind of okay, but I would like it if specifically the champion cards had a little more than just having like this foil over them. I would like it if they did maybe some movement, some kind of animation, to make it a little more shiny. I saw somebody post a card of Misfortune, and it had like the Bilgewater border around her, like the serpents and stuff, and that looked sweet. I could imagine if you have a card Prismatic and you have a card level 5 and then you get that border, that'd be fantastic. If you were able to delete a deck, what deck would it be and why Azirelia? I wouldn't delete Azirelia. I would nerf the deck. I wouldn't delete it. One deck I would delete is Trundle Lysandra. I'm just tired of that Freljord Shadow Isle control decks. That's always, every expansion, a variation of the Shadow Isle Freljord is the best control deck. And I would like control decks to exist outside of just those 2 regions and do something more interesting, because it's just evolved from War Mother, then Field Rush, and now Watcher, and it's boring. Give us more interesting control decks that play different cards than just Avalanche, Whale, Ruination, etc. League streams when? I have done league streams in the past, but my computer didn't really like it. After a while, it turned into a slideshow. I would be open to do league streams, especially when I start streaming more and I start doing more variety. You can definitely expect some league streams, but I can't really make promises on when exactly that'll be. Time will tell. HOTS streams when? So another game I played a lot was Heroes of the Storm, but ultimately I think League is better and HOTS is kind of dying. So I don't think I'll ever stream that game, but maybe we'll do some like some Discord stuff. Like I could share my screen on Discord and people can join in and watch there. I was actually thinking about doing that in the past, where I play a game like Mario Kart, and then people can just join the channel and watch me play, or we can play together. I don't know, that's not necessarily something I have to do on stream, I think. This Discord community is fantastic. Like, I love everybody in there. If you haven't joined yet, you're missing out. I really would like to be a little more involved in the community. I have been very busy with school, but I just can't wait to do more fun stuff together. If you live in LOR universe, in which region would you prefer to live in? Probably Targon. I mean, my favorite region is Bilgewater, but Targon just seems really cozy. It seems like everybody really cares about each other, unless you're Solari and then, you know, the Lunari attack. But in general, Targon seems pretty peaceful. If you were able to buff a region, which region would it be? Why Bilgewater? Yeah, I would buff Bilgewater because it has a 3% play rate, and their most played cards are Dreg, Dredgers, and Nautilus. Like, the only reason Bilgewater really sees play is because of Deep, and that's just not okay. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Deep. It shouldn't be their most played cards or archetype. Hot top streams when? What will your ideal job be? Seems like a fitting question given the graduation. Congratulations. Thank you so much, Demir. And my ideal job? I mean, it would be a variety streamer. Like, I love doing Runeterra, but I think the dream of any streamer is getting known for one game and then eventually just becoming a variety streamer and just being able to do whatever you want, really. Right now, I'm very happy to stream Runeterra, and I'm going to be doing that for many years. But eventually, you know, when there's more options on the market, I would love to branch out a little bit. So that's probably a pretty weird answer because I just graduated in IT business, but that's my answer. What's been your favorite meta so far in LOR? My favorite meta was probably when Targon got released. There were so many playable decks, and Targon wasn't broken. It was just pretty good, but even Bilgewater didn't receive all the nerfs that they got recently. So there were just so many decks that were playable, and everything just felt fair. What do you hate the most about Lady MC? What do you love the most about Elven Blade? What is your favorite game, and why is it Jackbox? What are your thoughts on Talia and her relationship to landmarks? What has been the best part about your time as creator, and why? I think in Legends of Runeterra, there are two different ways that the designers choose a champion to put in the game. And one of them is they just want popular characters to be in their game so people can play a deck with a character that they already know from League of Legends. Another thing is they probably want a certain archetype or they want a certain card type to work in the game. And I think that's where Talia came from. I think they wanted to have a landmark type deck with Shurima being released into the game. And they were probably looking for what champion would fit that the best that's already in Shurima. And Talia is a really obvious fit for that. It's the same with Malphite. I don't think we would have gotten Malphite unless they were pushing landmarks. And the best part about my time as a creator was easily interacting with the community and just talking to you guys and reading comments and just sharing my crazy deck ideas with all of you. Got a bunch of questions from Eolias here. What will be your streaming video upload schedule? My video upload schedule is going to be the same. It's going to be every day at 11 a.m. Central European time. My streaming right now, what I think it's going to be is I will be streaming Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday at 1 p.m. Central European time. I cannot confirm that or promise that right now because I still have to finish off some stuff with my internship. But once I do, that will most likely be the schedule. Why do you love Yeti so much? I don't. When will you marry Lady MC? Soon, and you'll all get an invitation. Stream Hot Tub when? Stream Hot Tube when? Yes. I heard there will also be a cooking stream. Maybe. Will you stream video upload of games other than LOR and or any Riot games? In the future, most likely yes, but once again, no promises on when or what that will look like. On the same topic, what are you more inclined to do? 4X, FPS, horror, RPG, MMORPG, Minecraft, mod Minecraft, etc. I have no idea. I think the most likely thing is that I'm just going to stick with Riot games. I could do League stream, I could do Valorant streams, even though I'm horrible at Valorant. I can do the new Ruined King game. That'll probably be the first thing. But I also really like Minecraft. I also really like MMORPGs. And I kind of like horror, even though a chicken. I love playing them, so who knows. Was there a LOR meta where you really enjoyed playing a top tier deck? If so, which were these decks and why? Scouts. Scouts have had periods where they were very strong. They haven't really had that since the last nerfs to Misfortune, but I've always really liked Scouts and I would always return to them. What's the most overpowered champion in the game European? Probably Lee Sin or Azir. It's kind of hard to say because champions are still like kind of tied to their archetype and to their supporting cards. So I'm not really sure, but that's probably my answer. Do you play League of Legends or did you know about League lore before play LOR? Absolutely. I've played League of Legends for 10 years and I love the lore. Like I mostly would read lore on my favorite champions, but I've been getting into it more and more. And I think the lore is so good that I cannot wait for the MMORPG they're working on. If you could revert a nerf in Runeterra history, which card would you choose? Misfortune Overwhelm, most likely. And if not, Riptide Rex, Black Market Merchant, maybe Yordle Grifter. Not sure, but those would be my choices. I often feel like I have to play decks that aren't meta or that I've made myself. Do you feel the same way? If so, how do you think it has impacted your experience? I think as a content creator, it's a little bit different because I get rewarded, I guess, for playing different decks and trying out new stuff because I can show that to people. But yeah, I do feel that way, even though I do not feel bad when I play a meta deck that I really enjoy. Like, Ruben's Pile is literally my favorite deck, and that's made by one of the designers of Legends of Runeterra. So in a way, yes, I do feel like I have to do that from time to time. But I don't feel bad about playing meta unless it's just a deck that really doesn't suit me at all. Like, I don't like Thresh Nasus, I don't like Azirelia, I don't like the Watcher decks because it's just not my style. But when Scouts were meta, I would play them. When Ruben's Pal was kind of meta, I would love playing that. So it's a yes and no question, I guess. Will you play other games in your stream other than League-related games? Do you like JRPGs? If you like, what is your favorite game? I don't know if those count, but Pokemon and Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door and even Paper Mario 1 are some of my favorite games of all time. But for more traditional JRPGs, I think I like Octopath Traveler the most. I can't really think of any others that I've played and really enjoyed. So that's probably my answer. My favorite game of all time is Hollow Knight. And I saw some questions about that later on, so I'll be answering those as well. And will you play other games on stream? I don't know if I'll play games that are not related to League, but we'll see. Like I said, whatever happens, happens. What are your favorite off-meta builds in League? Oh, that's kind of a hard question. I really like doing Ziggs with stuff like Lichbane and Gnasher Tooth. I don't know if that counts, but I really enjoyed going all in on Ziggs' turret destruction strength. I also, before the Fiddlesticks rework, I would sometimes go Criddlesticks, where I would just build like 80 items. Pretty funny. But yeah, I'm not that much of an off-meta player. I like adapting and being flexible, but not locking myself into one off-meta build or memeing all the time. I just adapt. What do you think about Poros? Can they be meta one day again? They were meta for a really short period of time, and it was kind of the perfect storm. And I think it's going to be harder and harder to get that perfect storm because there is a little bit of power creep in Legends of Runeterra. So unless Poros get a really good card in either Freljord or Piltover, I don't think so. Would you play the Rune King, the turn-based action RPG, on stream when it gets released? I don't know if I'm going to do it on stream. I probably will actually because I'm super hyped for that game. So for now, it's a yes. If you need professional level voice acting for a project, would you please consider me? Absolutely. I don't know if I'm going to need that, but if I do, you'll be the first I contact. Do you play any other games besides Runeterra? Yes, absolutely. I play League of Legends from time to time. I've been playing a lot of Griftlands lately. I still kind of like MapleStory because it's kind of my childhood. I play Mario Kart. I play a bunch of games on Switch. I play Minecraft with my girlfriend and some other friends. Even stuff like Among Us and Apex Legends I enjoy. I play a lot of games. What is your concept on how to balance out a card game? Nerfs are better than buffs. I do think nerfs are better than buffs, but I think every patch I would aim for buffing at least one card that might make a slight difference or a slight push in the meta, or even a card that could potentially like counter a deck that's being played a lot. What is your top 3 of Hollow Knight characters and or bosses? This one is actually pretty easy to answer for me. It's Cornifer, Quirrell, and the Mantis Lords. I think Mantis Lords were like one of the most perfect boss battles I've ever encountered in any game. The whole lead up to that battle and then being able to enter Deep Nest and they like do this little bow to you, it's perfect. And it made me like fall in love with the game at exactly that moment. And I knew I wanted to explore every nook and cranny when that happened. Where did you come up with the name Snnuy? What's the story behind it? God, I don't know. 10 years ago I started playing Mario Kart. I needed a name. It was like Sunbeam at the time. Then because you had these little me names that you had to like put your clan tag and then your name, it became like, I mean, my team at the time was called Ice. So it was like Ice Sun. because Sunbeam didn't fit, and eventually that just became Sunny. What deck archetype do you enjoy playing, and what is your favorite deck of it? So it's still Zoe Victor. I just love this generating, invoking card type of deck where all your cards synergize with those created cards. And it's mostly because every time you queue up, you know you're going to have an entirely different game on your hands than the last one, even if you're playing the exact same 40 cards. Sir, have you played any Soul-like game? Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Sekiro, Bloodborne, Hollow Knight. I played Dark Souls. I never finished it. I actually played that on stream last year, and I was not very good at it. But Hollow Knight is my favorite game of all time, so yeah, I definitely played that one. What gives you the idea to name yourself Sunny? And on YouTube, why Snnuy? Is it because it's too common? My name used to be Sunny724, and I really don't like numbers in my name. So I wanted to have something that still looked like Sunny, was kind of catchy and recognizable, and, you know, it's just a typo in the name, so I thought it was kind of funny too. And, you know, most people, when they see, like, my icon, which is just, like, an orange sun, they know that it probably means that I'm called Sunny. So, yeah, that's the story behind it, just a way to distinguish myself from all the other Sunnies. What current LOR archetype would you want to see expanded the most? Nab. How can you not hate Targon? I love Targon. Creating cards, having different games every time you play, awesome cosmic space dragons. What's not to like? Any countries you would like to travel to after the pandemic is over? Yeah, I'm gonna go to Italy to visit my girlfriend. And after that, probably Japan, because my best friend went there a few years ago, and the stories he came home with just really made me want to experience everything for myself. What do you consider to be the meaning or your purpose in life? And if you don't think you have a purpose per se, what long-term goals would you like to achieve within your lifetime? Whew, that's a question right there. I think my purpose in life is just being happy and being satisfied with however I spend my time on this earth. I don't really have any long-term goals. Once again, it's just being happy and being able to say, yeah, I've lived a good life. I did the things I enjoy doing, and hopefully I get to share that with as many people as possible. Would you ever consider expanding out to other games, and if so, which ones? I would consider expanding out to other games in the future, and which ones? Probably more Riot games, like the MMORPG, even League of Legends. I'm not sure, but I would want to stay within games that Riot Games releases. When are we getting the promised full-time streams? I can't really give a date, but if there's something I'm aiming for, it's the release of the newest expansion. Around that time, I should be entirely done with my internship. I should be able to pick up my diploma. And yeah, that's about the time that I'm going to be starting to stream 5 times a week. Because your answer will include your internship and everyone will ask in the comments, what are you learning and how is it going? So I graduated IT business and yeah, it's going well. It's just a little bit longer and then it's all behind me and I can focus on full-time streaming. What about variety content? Would love to do it. How are you right now? Fantastic. I mean, look, there's some balloons behind me. I just destroyed my entire room with that confetti popper thing, but things are going well. Thank you. How are you, Claptrap? And the question I have since meeting you, how can one person make such plays and be so absent-minded, forgetful at the same time? I don't really have an answer for that. I guess that's just who I am. Tell a bonus fact about yourself if you want to. Something I could talk about, I guess, is my competitive history. I've always been pretty good at video games. I'm not saying I'm very good at Runeterra because, well, like you just mentioned, I'm pretty absent-minded and forgetful from time to time. But I've been pretty good at, like, action-type games, like League of Legends. I played that at a really high level. But I started with Mario Kart Wii, and there was a small community, I don't know, a few thousand people, and a lot of tournaments were being hosted, and I was in the, well, what ended up being the best team in Mario Kart Wii's history, unless something changed in recent years. I mean, I guess people do get better over time. But at the time, the first 4 years of the game's lifespan that I played it, I was in the best team that there was. And eventually, I just realized that there was no future in a game like this because there were no updates. They weren't going to balance anything. So when League of Legends came out and became more popular, I switched to that game. And I haven't really looked back until now with Runeterra. And I'm really surprised it took this long to get this question. What is your favorite food? My favorite food is like this Dutch dish. I don't actually know if it's Dutch. It might be like Turkish. Oh god, I shouldn't be saying those things because I'm not sure. But it's called kapsalon. And it's like you have this shawarma meat, you have fries, and then you have like some cheese and salad mixed through it and some like garlic sauce. And it's like, it's a mess, but it tastes delicious. So that's probably my favorite food. Do you plan on using your degree now or just full-time streaming? I'm going to try full-time streaming, and if that goes well, I will not be using my degree. And if I still have some bills to pay and I don't make enough money, then yeah, I'm going to use my degree and just become like a business engineer or something. No idea. What made you create a YouTube channel? That happened 10 years ago when I made a YouTube channel to upload Mario Kart videos. But those are all gone from my channel, and it's just Legends of Runeterra now. And then I have some more questions from YouTube. This one says, can I know what your least favorite champion is in League and how you'd want him to be printed in LOR? My least favorite champion in League is Zillion. And that's not because I don't like Zillion the way it looks. I actually think it's pretty cool to have like this old time wizard. But I hate that he can revive people because I'm kind of like, I have a monkey brain when I play League and I just go in, and then when Zillion revives somebody that I go all in on, I get upset. And my hat just kind of jumped forward. So yeah, my most hated champion is Zillion. After that, I think my most hated champion, or my least favorite champion, is probably Irelia. And she's also in the game. It's kind of funny that my two most hated champions actually got released in the same expansion. And then the next expansion is going to have some of my favorite champions. So I don't really have an answer to this. And this question says, please do a tier list of the best decks you have made. So I can't really do best decks, but I can do my favorite or most fun decks that I've made. For number 5, I think that's this Shark Chariot control deck that I made way back in like October. Back when the game was still pretty fair, you could get away with these type of decks, where it would just spam a bunch of Shark Chariots and play like Powder Monkeys to summon all the sharks. It was a lot of fun. It wasn't the best deck, but it was just really fun to play one Kalista. So you would summon a Shark Chariot, and then the whole board would be filled with sharks. And then late game, you had like a Rekindler to summon back multiple Kalistas on the board, kind of like going infinite. It was a really fun deck. And for number 4, it's actually the Deep Talia deck that I made. I made it like a month before Magwai uploaded a video on it. He's obviously a lot more popular than me, so obviously he didn't even know that I made a deck like that. But I was really proud of it at the time, and it actually worked a lot better than I thought it would at first glance. So that will be my number 4. And my number 3 has to be my Arrow Engine deck, where I played Targon with Noxus to really buff up a Errol the Tracker. And Errol the Tracker is just one of my favorite cards in the game, so it was pretty cool to just go all in on that one card. Number 2 is my Shurima Scouts list. I had this whole series where I tried to play Scouts with every single region, like Shadow Isle Scouts, Ionia Scouts, and one of them was the Shurima Scouts, which had Misfortune and Talia, and then you would try to use the Ancient Hourglass on Misfortune, and then copy it with Talia to have 2 Misfortunes on the board, and if she's leveled, she would shoot for like straight 6 damage. It played the Sandswept Tomb as well to summon a 5/2 every time you're attacking, and you could copy that with Talia as well, of course. And it actually came together a lot better than I thought. And it's just one of the decks that was like one of the first videos that really popped off on my YouTube. So it's, yeah, I'm just proud of it. And then number 1 is the Possession deck. That video also really popped off, but like nothing ever had before. And it was a deck I made live on stream. So I was just super proud that I came up with an idea like that and able to make it work in game. And it was mostly just for fun, but like that highlight where I played against a big Citria deck and just kept stealing that Citria and killing it with Mask Mother is one of the highlights of my Runeterra career. And I can't wait to go back to the deck to try and refine it. Here's the last question from Etem. Congrats for your graduation. And for a question, I would ask you, what would you like to say to people in depression or with very bad self-confidence? Sorry for my bad English. I think some people need your advice. This is a hard question to answer, obviously, because this is different for every single person. But obviously, I've been through my own fair share of just bad moments. And I don't want to say depression. I don't think I was ever depressed because I think there were people that had it worse. And one thing or a few things that would really help for me, first of all, is kind of look at yourself from like a bird's eye view, like look down on yourself and really think, what I'm struggling with right now, is that really going to matter in a year from now? Is it going to matter in 10 years from now? And if the answer is no, then yeah, you're still going to feel bad, but it puts things in perspective much more. And look, those things, they really take time. You can't just be better the next day. You can't be better next week. But whatever you're going through, you'll get there. Like, trust me, I've had it bad. I cannot compare myself to what you're going through. If you're even going through this, maybe it's just a general question, but trust me, it does get better. I think the hardest part really is that every day you have to wake up and feel bad, feel depressed. But trust me, every day it gets a little better. The hardest part is doing it every day. Waking up, going through the motions, and hoping that you feel some relief at the end. But even if you can't feel it right away, it is a process and you'll get there. I've seen rock bottom. I've seen my own rock bottom. And I am here now. I'm happy as can be. Everything came together for it. And what I did to get where I am is just stay busy. Like, I started school again, even though I was sick and couldn't go to school. I have a beautiful girlfriend now. You really know when a relationship is good for you, and I'm going to hold on to that for the rest of my life, because what else matters? Just surround yourself with positive people. And if you have any toxic relationships, even doesn't have to be a girlfriend or boyfriend or friends or family, just cut them. Just do you. Your happiness is all that matters. If you can be happy with yourself, you can be happy with anyone. And you know when you found a person that can make you happy? And as far as self-confidence goes, that's another pretty hard question to answer, but I don't think I'm all that amazing, but I'm doing what I really enjoy, and if people don't like that, then screw them. Like, there's plenty other creators. There's plenty other people that can do exactly what I do, and maybe it'll suit like what they're looking for even more. So whatever it is you're doing, whatever it is you're insecure about, just know that there's people out there that want exactly what you have, but you just don't know it. And this answer that I gave, it's not going to help for you. This is what helped for me. All I can do is just share my process of how it was for me. But just know that in a few years from now, this, whatever you're struggling with now, it'll seem like nothing. So stay strong and you'll get there. And with that, I answered every single question that I got asked. So I hope you guys enjoyed getting to know me a little bit better. I certainly enjoyed answering those questions. And once again, thank you so much for the 10K. Here's to another full year full of amazing content, and videos are only going to get better. So, thank you.